Okay, so today we're going to talk about, we're still in the connection pillar of the 4 pillars of dog training, and we're going to talk about crate training and the importance of it. And I know that we've talked about crate training in the past, but it really is an important fundamental piece to it all. And really, as we get talking about it, you'll see and understand that it really is tied back into a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about in previous podcasts. So crate training is kind of something that has evolved into this we have to be careful how we do it or the dogs aren't going to like it type behavior from people, and trying to help the dog feel comfortable in it by only leaving them in there for a half hour and taking them out every hour, and there's all kinds of formulas around there as far as the age and how long the dog can be in there. And it's funny that I just have, there's new things every time I go into different houses. So let's talk about what the crate is to a dog and what it should be to the dog. Melissa, what's your thoughts on that?
I joke, but I'm serious when I say that. I call the crate the Zen den. Because when I'm talking with clients or for my dogs, I want the crate to be a place where they can just be at peace. They don't have to worry about what job they're doing or what's going on. They can just relax and be. And with that structure of, they can be like, oh, I'm in the crate and you will come back. Everything's fine. I just need to relax here.
Right.
And it's not a punishment. It's not a reward. It's a thing.
Yeah.
And I think we should stop putting too much emotion attached to it. Because really, if you put out a crate, most dogs will eventually just kind of like, oh, this is...
Yeah. Yeah, they kind of...
They pick up on our emotions of creating weirdness with it.
Right. Yeah. A lot of times it becomes this purple elephant in the room.
Yes.
Of this weird and terrible thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that, the Zen den.
I like too. I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah, I like that. Michelle, what's your thoughts on the crate?
I mean, obviously, that's what we're saying, right? It is one of the most important things that you can help your dog with. I mean, I guess in my brain, I just really think, and I like to tell people this as well, is that dogs are den creatures, and we need to give them a safe zone that is their den.
Yeah.
And what is more perfect than the crate for that?
Right.
So I like the Zen den because that's kind of like, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't say in the exact same way. I go back to more of the wolf, like,
Right.
Wolves have dens, dogs have dens.
Yeah.
We need to make a safe area for them. And then I like to tell them that about how, like, Prudence, our Cavalier, we still have a crate up for her, and she's 10, and it's just because she just generally likes to be in it. Like, it's just her safe place to be.
Yeah.
Our new dog June, she loves her crate, because it's the one place that she can go shut down.
Right.
Because she is such an anxious dog.
Yeah.
And I think all dogs need that space of, just like we do. I mean, we all need our space to be calm in.
Yeah.
My bedroom is definitely my safe zone.
Yep.
It's theirs too.
Yeah. I don't understand the hang up that happens with the crate. Where they all start thinking there's this cage, or they're all penned up. I don't understand that crazy mentality of it. Like, I don't understand why people get so hung up into how mean it is and how cruel it is. We don't want our dogs in there for 12 hours every day, day in and day out. But that's not people's life. People that are gone for 12 hours every day, day in and day out, don't have dogs.
Right.
I mean, they don't.
Yeah.
And so, people that have dogs, 8 hours a day is totally fine. They're going to be in the house for 8 hours, and I don't think it matters whether you're in an apartment or a house. It's just, it's not cruel. It's not a cruel thing for a dog. It's cruel if you keep them locked up in there and they don't ever get to come out.
Yeah.
And they have to live in it, and then they're peeing and pooping in it. Yeah, that's cruel. That's far as puppyhood goes, that we take our puppies away from their litter mates, and their litter mates are really their cue to sleeping and to playing. And so when there's nobody there to go to sleep, to tell them it's time to go to sleep, they don't know to go to sleep. They just get so exhausted that they finally sleep, instead of, saying, well, they sleep, they're napping, they're exhausted, they're not
it's not a healthy sleep.
Yeah. And so I, tell puppy owners that their crate is really that other puppy that tells them it's time to take a nap. And I don't play into an age versus duration. My general schedule is they eat in their crate, and so eating time consists of about a half hour to an hour. And then they have to spend 4 hours in their crate every day at a minimum. They need to take an early evening nap in there for about an hour or so. And then the rest of the time you use it when the puppy's behavior warrants crate time.
Yeah.
For adult dogs, it's pretty much the same. They're in it a little bit less. But it really, 4 hours minimum in the crate every day. I don't care how old they are. The other thing that people get caught up in is they don't want to go to the bathroom in their crate. And I'm like, that's where I want them to go to the bathroom, because they won't keep doing it.
Yeah.
And if they learn that they can go to the bathroom in the house and get away from it, why would they stop? And so I would prefer that they learn to hold their bladder and learn to hold their poop in their crate, because it's very, very short-lived, no matter what the age is, from 6 weeks all the way up from there. So talk to me about, Michelle, you've had June, and there's been a big kind of shift with everything, having her. What are the routines that you have with her crate right now? And some of the things that you've been doing that's all kind of part of the routines of, it all kind of revolves around the crate.
Yeah. She's kind of a neurotic mess anyways of a dog.
Yeah.
So we use the crate probably more than people would find fit.
Yeah.
But she is in her crate at night, obviously. Like that's and she's actually in a separate room than us at this point. So she's in her crate all night. I usually get up around, 7, 8-ish. She goes out for 15 minutes, comes back in, eats breakfast. 15 minutes maybe, then I let her back out for about 5 minutes, and then I leave for work is all. And so very, very short, just like in and out type of thing. And then she's in there depending on the day. It really depends on the day, how long I'm at work. But even on the weekends, she might get a little bit more than 5 minutes out of her crate. But then she's back in for at least 4 hours. That's pretty standard in our house. And at this point, it's not even something I really think about. It just is that's the time she's in her crate. And then in the evening, she comes back out with us, like when we get home, or on the weekends. Like that's about the time we get up and start doing stuff. So she comes out and helps in the yard or whatever when we're doing yard work. She goes back in her crate about 5 for dinner. Well, we do lunch, I guess. We do 3 meals a day. So between 4 and 5, she gets her lunch. And that time just works well for us, because if I have a really long day, that's when my husband gets home every single day. So we just stick to that routine. She's in there for probably about an hour, comes back out, is out the rest of the night with us until we go to bed, and she gets dinner right as we go to bed, 10-ish. So she's in her crate quite a bit, honestly. It probably is a total of 12 hours a day, and then overnight, honestly, if you really add it all up. Not at once. Very, very rarely is she in there that long at one time. But she is such a neurotic dog. It is something she has to have, because she has to have that shutdown time. And she will not shut down. In fact, it's kind of interesting, as we were talking about like hand feeding last week and all this stuff. We've started doing a lot more of that kind of stuff. Her lunchtime is our hand feeding time. So if it's during the week, I do it. If it's not on the weekend, my husband does it, which you guys will be really happy. She'll actually grab his hand. I know. It was a lot more nerve-wracking for her with him than it was with me, but she's willing to do it.
Good.
The funny thing is, at this point, her crate is so safe. She really likes to run back in, and then she'll come back out slowly and eat from him, and then run back in and come back. But she's doing it.
Nice.
So she needs, she does not stop. However, if she is out of that crate, her brain does not shut off. If you put her in the backyard, we are actually starting to have like patches of grass. You can tell exactly where June runs every day.
Right.
Like you can just see it I was really, really proud of her last night. We went out and we were in the hot tub and her and Murphy just laid down on the porch. I've never seen her do that on her own ever.
Yeah.
Like ever. So I feel like we're getting somewhere finally, but her brain does not shut down on its own.
Yeah.
So she needs that crate.
Right.
And I really think about it like in terms of how much sleep she should be having.
Mm-hmm.
Most dogs should sleep at least 18 hours out of the day.
Yeah.
So realistically, like her being in her crate is her sleeping time.
Right.
And she needs that.
Yeah. I think that's one thing that surprises most people when I say your dog should be sleeping about 85% of a 24-hour day.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
And if they're puppies, it's even more.
Right.
It should be 20 to 22 hours out of the day, not 18. So it's a lot of sleep they need.
Yeah.
Because they're just growing so much faster than us humans do.
Right. So. And it just keeps them healthier in the long run, for sure. But there's been some drastic changes with June just in keeping that crate routine. That I've seen just in her relationship with you and the connection that's happening and she's really a lot more joyful versus being skittish because I think she knows that she gets to find that release.
Right.
That's coming. Right.
Yeah. She really is happy to see me to come out of her crate now.
Yeah.
Which at first that was not a thing.
Yeah.
Her crate was so safe for her that she would not come out, and now she's like, oh, I go in here to sleep, but then I get to come out and enjoy you for absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Melissa, what are some of the things that we can use the crate for that may be a perception of discipline?
So I always say when your puppy's being naughty and their energy is so scattered and it's and I say, put them in the crate.
Right.
And then people are like, no, the crate's bad. The thing is bad. No, the puppy's telling you it's tired and it needs a check out.
Yep.
Chewing, like barking at the neighbors, or if something's happening and you feel like you need to put them in the crate. You need behavior at home, really.
Yeah.
Using the crate as no, we're going to be grounded for a second.
Right.
Because more than likely their head is up in the clouds and they just need.
And that's what I tell people, it's a perception of communication. You're barking outside, that barking tells me you'd like to go to your crate. Oh, you're biting me, that behavior tells me that's how you get to your crate, not it's not a discipline of being angry or anything, it's a perception of communication. And we know that them barking outside at the neighbor's dog is not them saying they want to go to their crate, but if we stupid humans go, oh, you want to go to your crate, they will change that behavior if you stay consistent with it. And so what about adult dogs? What about getting adult dogs or rescues, or even Michelle, you don't have a puppy, she's still a puppy as far as she's not two, but what about older dogs and using the crate when we go into homes and we're training and I pull out hey, we're going to do crate training for a dog that's 6 years old. What's some of the pushback that you get, and what's your recommendation for people?
So I just had a lesson like this. 2 bulldogs, one is 7, one's 4, I believe, or 6 and 4. And I was like, hey, we're gonna get some crates and we're gonna get them on a crate schedule. One of them has been crate trained in the past, and they're like, but they're fine in the house. I'm like, are they though? Just because they're not tearing stuff up doesn't mean they're fine in the house. And I explained the sleep they need and that the imbalance, one's trying to fall asleep, the other one will wake them up, and it's kind of a chaotic. So they got 2 crates, and they sent me a video of them, and both dogs just went in the crates and slept.
Nice.
They didn't even really need, now they're crate training more go into your crate night, because they'd always get in fights every night. Middle of the night over the bed, it'd be a blow up. But the dogs have now been like, oh, I can go and relax now, and this is my space. They don't need to resource guard it, because there's no threat of, the crates are the no threat zone for these dogs, and there's 2 of them, and they just both, but it creates this structure of, when it's too chaotic, we're going to relax. And we're going to get up, we're going to get food, and dogs like that structure. Because if there's chaos, they're going to find their own structure, and we're not going to like how they create structure. Because the more more than likely we see it as a problem, but to them they're creating structure in their mind.
Yeah, I think the crate becomes this routine, this rhythm it creates in the household with your dogs, and I think people really, again, get hung up with this purple elephant in the room of how mean it is when, man, they love it. They love it. I mean, there's not a dog that, even people that don't keep their dogs in crates right now, that when they come stay with us, they zip right into their crates. I mean, they know at our house what their routine is. They know what, where their space is. And I mean, even Michelle, your dogs come into the house, they know what the routine is. And the crate's a part of it. And they find the comfort with it because they know that's what we do. And they really find the joy in that decompression, that Zen den mentality.
Well, Cooper, if we have a lot of boarding dogs over, and if there's, every once in a while there'll be a boarding dog that stresses her out, she will go in herself and go into a crate. Or she'll go have me open a crate for her, and she'll go in and she'll sleep. But she regulates, like she knows, like, I need a crate right now, and we'll go into the crate.
And it's because we we've never made it a bad thing in the sense of them being locked in. It's never been I'm not going to survive if I'm in here. We've created it such a happy place and such a quiet place that they really find the joy in it. Michelle, what questions do you get asked with the crate?
What questions do I get asked?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the biggest thing is just when you do get your dog, like if there is too much tension around it, it's just getting them used to it. How do you get them used to it? How do you create it to be their safe place? How do you? Because people do make such a big deal out of it. It's hard for a lot of dogs. We put so much emotion on putting them in there that it is really hard for them to be in there.
Right. The guilt and the
And then there's the time thing. You always get like, how much time should they be in there? And my answer to that is, well, how much time are you normally gone?
Right.
I know.
Right.
Because I am a true believer that your dog's schedule and routine should be around you, not the other way around.
Right. Yeah, I think people, when they're like, how do we get him in the crate? My dog won't go into the crate. And I'm really, well, you put him in the crate.
Right.
Don't lie to him. Don't manipulate it. Don't pretend like you're going to give him a treat. You can give them a treat after they're in there, but you don't lure them into the crate with it. You just put them in and close the door and give them a treat and say, I'll see ya. I mean, here's your dinner. Here's your breakfast. You just put them in there. It's not a conversation. It's not a concern. It's not a, you're a human being and they're a dog, and you can put the dog in the crate. Even if it's a Great Dane, you can get the dog in the crate without a manipulation, because once you're black and white with it, they will be very happy to go, oh, okay, this is what we do. And if you're routine about it, it doesn't take but a couple of days and they're getting in on their own because it's the routine. If you don't have a routine around it, they're always going to battle with it. And that's what I think the biggest thing is, people, when they get hung up, is there's no routine around it. And that's why we feed in there. That's why we have them take naps. That's why even on the weekends, it's a minimum of 4 hours in there, is you keep the routines with them. Melissa, what do you feel like is like the best advice around the crate that you can give somebody?
Just one. Well, first thing is like, just do it. Just take your emotions out of it, create that structure, and stick with it. I guess would be the biggest thing. Just stick with it, and your dog will thank you. And I know you said one thing, but it just kind of made me just think of a tangent. So this is all about connection, right? And connections are real, and connections aren't bribed. So don't bribe your dog in there, because they'll see through that. Dogs can see us better than they can read us. And so be true and honest about it. Like, this is what we're doing, and they will respect that, and they'll make them like it. And on that same note, if they're being bad in their crate, you can correct them. I get that a lot. Oh, I can't get mad at them in there because then it's a bad place. No, be honest with your dog about what is happening.
Expectation.
Exactly. Create that expectation. Because if you want a true connection, and if you have a true connection with your dog, they'll know that.
Right.
Oh, this is bad. Okay, this is what I should be doing instead. Great, cool, I'm fine with that.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I like that. Michelle, what about you?
I mean, overall, I think you're doing your dog a disservice if you don't do crate training for so many reasons. First of all, no matter what age your dog is when you get it, you have no idea. Like, if it's a new dog, you have no idea what that dog is going to do that could harm itself.
Right.
And that is scarier to me than, say, the couch gets shredded. Yeah, I'm going to be really upset if my couch is shredded. Right. But if my dog swallowed enough stuff that like, it could kill him, that is scary. Yeah. And that's like just a little thing. There are so many things your dog's going to be getting into and doing while you were not there. Yeah. And I think you're also doing a disservice. There is going to be some point in your life, if you are an active person at all, your dog is going to have to go into a crate. Right. If your dog has to be groomed, it has to go into a crate. Right. If you ever take your dog to the vet and have to leave it, it's going to have to go into a crate. And can you imagine that poor dog?
Oh, I've seen them.
If it's hurt,
right,
and it's scared, and it has to go into a crate, it's never been in a crate, it's going to hurt itself worse, it's going to stress itself out, it cannot, like, it can't
heal.
Yeah, it cannot get better. So I think you were doing a huge disservice to your dog, no matter what age they are, to not take the time to do crate training. And don't make it a big deal. It's not a big deal. Right. It really is, like, just a safe place for them to go shut down and just be and do the things that you want them to do. Right. I mean, if I'm ever gone for longer than 6 to 8 hours, I make sure June has a bone to that is safe for her to chew on, because I do know that there's going to be a point she wakes up. Yeah. We don't do that every day, because that's not. I don't want her mind to always be working. Yeah. Yeah. When she's in the crate, I want that to be her quiet time. Yeah. But especially if we've got plans at night, and we've been gone all day, I always give her a bone in the evening hours to give her something to do. If you feel bad about it, I don't think you should feel bad about it, but if you do, So I think you're doing your dog an extreme disservice if you don't do some form of crate training at some point. Right. And we'll get into this. If you ever want to have consistent training and there will be a huge part of that we talk about. Right. Crate training is, if you cannot be consistent with crate training, you will never be consistent with anything.
I know.
Amen. So I'm gonna two things, and both of you guys have said, since we are on video and people can that are listening can go watch it as well. When I talk about correcting in a crate, you don't just say no and hey, quiet. I go and tell them it's enough, and that's how hard I hit on the crate. Like, that's enough. Don't do that. So you can do that, and that's the correction that I give with the crates. Some dogs that are incredibly aggressive in their crate, I'll growl back at them. Hey! And they're usually like, oh, don't growl at me. So you can discipline them while they're in there, and you can make a big deal about it. And then the last thing is the duration and what does crate training look like. And my general rule, whether it's an adult dog or a puppy, the first 6 months they're in there, just like we've talked about. And then after 6 months, I generally like to have them sleeping out somewhere between 6 and 10 months, that they can sleep out at night with you if they're ready. And then duration, as far as how long do you leave them in there when you're not home, my general rule is 2 years. So once you've done that, they're pretty much crate trained, and they'll go into a crate no matter what. And just like Cooper saying, okay, I need to go into a crate, she's 4, so once that's done, they're crate trained. There is a process of weaning them out of the crate, and I go into some pretty in-depth detail in my book with how to phase them out. But staying consistent and getting the crate training done, and it's never too late. Even if you've owned your dog for 3 years, it's never too late to crate train them. And I think it's definitely a skill and a place that dogs should learn to be and be happy with. It should be their zen den.